Hello everyone. Dear students, today we shall look at application of arrays. That is, let us study about basic searching and sorting algorithms. First of all, let us understand what is searching. Basically, there will be list of elements given to you. That is, an array of elements will be given to you, and there will be something called search key. So that is the key element to be searched with the given list of elements or array of elements. If the search key is found in the array of elements, then we can say that search is successful, and in that case we need to print where exactly that element is present in the array. That is its position we need to print. If the search key is not present in the array of elements, then we have to say that that particular key is not found in the array. So that is called as the searching technique. Basically, in this technique we are searching for an element in the array of elements or list of elements. So that is what we call it as searching. Basically, there are two kinds of searching techniques. One is called as linear search, and another one is called as binary search. So let us study about the linear search first. So linear search is very simple searching algorithm. Here also a list of elements will be given, that is array of some elements will be given, and we need to take a search key, that is the element to be searched, and after that we need to search for that particular key in the array of elements. The searching technique is very simple here. Go on comparing search key with each and every element of the array, starting from first element till end of the array. And if you find that element is present, then we have to print its position. If element is not present, just we need to print the element is not found or the key is not found. So this is very simple technique. Take the search key and compare search key with all individual array elements starting from first element. Then we decide whether the element is found or not. This is also called as sequential search. Why the name is given as linear search? Because the searching technique will be in linear fashion. That is, search key is compared with elements of the array starting from first element to last element. So the searching method is basically linear in fashion, and the name is given as linear search. It is also called as sequential search. Here every item is checked. If match is found, then that particular position we need to print. Otherwise, we have to say the key is not found. So one example is given here. So there is an array, and this array is having 9 elements. The array elements are 10, 8, 1, 21, 7, 32, 5, 11, 0. And we know that array index will start from 0. So the starting index of the array is 0. Next index is 1, 2, 3, so on. And the last index will be 8. So total 9 elements are present here, but the index value will be starting from 0 and the last index is 8 here. So here the element to be searched is 5, that is called as search key. So what we do is we go on comparing the search key with all the elements of the array starting from first element. So let us begin with the first element of the first element of the array is present at index 0. It is called as array of 0. The element present here is 10. We compare search key with 10 here. In this case, here it is not found. Search key is not found here because the key doesn't match with the first element of the array 10. So in this case, we need to go to second element. So what is the second element here? 8. Compare search key with second element. Search key is 5, doesn't match with second element. So here it is not found. So then we need to compare key with the next element, that is 1. 5 is not equal to 1. Compare key with the next element, that is 21. 21 is not matching with the search key. So consider the next element of the array, that is 7 at array of 4, and compare 5, 7 doesn't match here. And consider the next element of the array, that is 32. Compare 32 with 5, 5 doesn't match with 35, 32. Then go to next element, the next element of the array is 5, which is present at index 6, that is array of 6. So particularly this actually this element matches with the search key. So here we can say that search is successful, and the position of this element in the array is basically, you should take array index plus 1. The array index is 6, but its position is 7 here, because the position of the elements will be like this. This is first position, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. The position of the element 5 in the array is 7th, but its index is 6, because array index will be starting from 0. The position of the element 5 in the array will be 7, that is 1 more than array index, so it will be 7. We need to print that the element 5 present at position 7. So that is what the simplest linear search technique. Now let us see how this is going to work out here. So there is a graphical simulation of the searching technique in this particular here thing. So these are the array elements given here. So the array size is basically 32. The array index will be starting from 0, and the last index is 31. Total 32 elements are present here. So these are the array elements we can observe. Suppose that you want to search for the element 544. So let us put the search key here, 544. Then so I'll reduce the animation speed. So what I do is I'll click on linear search. As we learned that in the linear search, basically the key is compared with all the elements of the array starting from first element. Let us see how it is going to work out here. So I'm going to click linear search. See, now it has considered the first element whose index is 0. The first element is 15. 15 is compared with the searching key. We have taken it as 544. That doesn't match here. Then we go to next index. The next element is 62. 62 is compared with the key. That doesn't match. If you go to next index 2, and the element is 65. 65 doesn't match with the key, that is 544. It will go to next element, index 3, and the element stored at this particular index is 79. 79 doesn't match with 544. So it will go to next element. Here also there is no match. Next element 176 doesn't match with 544. Go to next index. Next element doesn't match. This is going to next, doesn't match here. So going to next element doesn't match. Continuing the comparisons. Here also there is no match. Here the element stored at index 13 is 422. It doesn't match with the search key, that is 544. So it will go to the next index 14, and the element is 429. It doesn't match with the search key, that is 544. It will go to next element, the index 15, and the element is 544 stored here at this index. Now it matches with the search key. Now let us see what it will do. The result is 50. It is showing the element is found. The element is found at index 15, but its position will be one more than the index. So that is the 16. Suppose that let us try for another element here. I will take it as 79. 79, and apply the linear search. See how the comparisons will be done here. So there is a match here. So it is showing element found. If the element is not present in the array here, it is going to display element. The element is not found. Now let us see the program of linear search. So this program is illustrating searching using linear search technique. So as usual, we have to begin with hash include stdio.h void main. So inside the main, let us declare an array. We know the syntax of array declaration is basically single dimensional array. We are declaring the syntax is data type, array name, and size. So array name is ARR, size is 10, data type is int. Here in this array we can store integer typed elements. Since the array size is 10 here, we can store maximum 10 elements. Then size, basically how many elements you want to take in the array, so that is size. Then key, that is search key. I is index variable, and there is one flag variable taken, it is used as a indicator. Here this flag, whenever the value of flag is 1, it indicates that the key is found. Whenever flag equal to 0, it indicates that key is not found. Initially flag is set to 0, let us assume that initially key is not found. Later on, whenever key is found, we will make flag is equal to 1. Next printf, enter the number of elements in the array here. Let us read it. Scanf %c, size. So you are reading value for this particular size. Next we have to enter the array elements. Take a for loop for I equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. Scanf will be executing and we are reading the array elements here. That we already learned. Next enter the search key here. That is the element to be searched. So you are reading an element here which is stored into key. You are searching for the key in the array. So as we learned that in linear search, the search key will be compared with the individual elements of the array starting from first element. So take a for loop, and where we initialize I equal to 0 because the array index will start from 0. First of all, we need to compare key with the first element of the array whose index will be 0, and you have to repeat up to last index. The last index will be this size minus 1. So the condition is I less than size, I plus plus. So this for loop is beginning here, it is ending here, and in this for loop we are comparing key with ith element of the array. So we take a if statement, key is double equal to, we are comparing key with ith element of the array. If key matches with ith element of the array, then we set flag is equal to 1. It indicates that key is found and no need to continue, and that's why we call the break here. Break will terminate the loop, we already know that. And once the loop terminates, what happens here is we compare flag is equal to is not equal to 0. If a flag is not equal to 0, it indicates that the key is found. We print that key element is found. And if flag remains 0, that is if this condition is false, that is when flag equal to 0. In this case, we go to else and we print key element not found. Now let us run the program and check the result here. The same program is written. So let me run this program. So it is asking us to enter array size here. That is how many elements you want to take in the array. 5 elements. It is asking us to enter array elements now. So we can enter the elements like 23, 14, 45, 35 and 15. So these are the elements. After that, enter the key element, that is the element to be searched. Suppose that if you want to search for the element 45, then it is showing the element 45 found is at position 3. The position of the 45 is basically its index plus 1, so it is 3 here. So let us run this program once again. So this time I'll enter array size as 3, array elements 12, 32, 23. Suppose that you are searching for 45, so you should get output as the element 45 is not found. So that is the result we got here. So that is how the linear search is going to be executed. It is very simple program. Let us move on to the next program. The next searching technique is binary search. So the linear search technique is not efficient. It means if the array is too large, if there are too many elements present in the array and you are searching for the last element, or if you take the case of key not found, there it will make n number of comparisons, because the key should be compared with all the individual elements of the array. If the key is not found or key is found at the last position, here it will make maximum, that is n number of comparison whenever the size of the array is n. So which is not efficient at all. So in such cases we can go for another searching technique, that is binary search, which is more efficient as compared to linear search. So it will make less comparisons as compared to linear search to find the given search key. So for the binary search technique, there is a condition, there is a precondition that we need to satisfy. The condition is all the elements of the binary search, all the elements of the array for binary search must be sorted. What I mean by sorted array? Sorting is basically arranging elements in some order. That is, arranging elements of the array either in ascending order or in a descending order. What do you mean by ascending order? Sorting, arranging elements of the array in the increasing order. What is increasing order? Arranging elements from smallest to largest. So that is called as sorting of array elements in ascending order. Another thing is sorting elements in descending order. Arrangement of the elements in the descending order, that is largest to smallest. Arrange the elements in the order largest to smallest, that is called as sorting of the elements in the descending order. So there is a precondition for binary search, that is the array should be sorted. So let us assume that the input to binary search is a sorted array where the elements are sorted in ascending order. The arrangement of the elements in the array will be smallest to larger, that is what ascending order. So then only this binary search technique is applicable. It is applicable to only sorted array of n elements. So let us see what are the steps we need to follow in the binary search. So the input given to binary search algorithm is a sorted array, where this index will start from 0 and the last index will be array size minus 1. If the array size is n, then the last index will be n minus 1. So in the binary search technique, we need to find out the middle element, because first of all key should be compared with the middle element. In linear search, what we do is we compare key with the first element, but in the binary search, the search key should be compared with middle element of the array. So here we need to take two index variables, low and high. Here low will be pointing to first index of the array. The starting index of the array is 0. So let us initialize low to 0, and high is pointing to last index of the array, that is initialized to n minus 1. The last index will be array size minus 1. If n is array size, the last index will be n minus 1, where we take high. Then we need to find out the index of middle element. So because we need to compare key with the middle element first. So to find the index of middle element, we apply this formula, that is the lower index plus higher index divided by 2. So low plus 0, low is 0 and high is n minus 1. So we will take addition of these two divided by 2. We will get the position of middle element. And after that we compare key with the middle element of the array. After getting the index of middle element, we compare key with the middle element. If both are equal, then we display that the element is found and its position will be displayed. And if key doesn't match with middle element, then check whether the key is less than middle element or greater than middle element. That is because, as we already learned, that for binary search, the input is a sorted array. Assume that if the elements are sorted in ascending order, after finding middle element, the array will be divided into two parts. So the elements that comes before middle element is called as first half of the array. The elements that comes after middle element, that is called as second half of the array. If you look at the elements of first half, these elements will be smaller than the middle element because the elements are sorted in ascending order. If you look at the elements that comes after mid or middle element, those are greater than the middle element. So if key matches with middle element, then search is successful. If key doesn't match with the middle element, then where we need to search that particular key, whether it is in the first half or it will be in the second half. So in this case, we need to make one decision. Compare key with middle element. If key is smaller than middle element, then we need to search for that particular key only in the first half, because where the elements are less than middle element, and no need to look at the elements which comes after the middle element, because those elements are greater than the middle element. If the search key is less than middle element, only consider the first half where actually the element may be present. If the key to be searched is greater than middle element, then we need to search for that particular key in the second part where the elements are greater than the middle element. In this case, we need not to consider the first half where the elements are smaller than the middle element. So let us discard the first part of the array where the elements are smaller than the middle element, and let us consider only the second half of the array where the elements are greater than middle element. There may be the key present. So like this, search continues until the key is found or key not found. If key is found, we need to print its position. If key is not found, we need to say that that particular search key is not found. Now let us see how the searching will be done here. So there is an array given here. The array size is 10 because it is having 10 elements. If you look at the array index starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, the last index will be 9, that is array size minus 1. If n is array size, then it is equal to 10 because it is having 10 elements. The last index will be n minus 1. So here we need to take two index, low and high. So low is the index that is pointing to the first index, that is 0, and high is pointing to last index 9, that is n minus 1. So here suppose that you are searching for 23. The search key, that is element to be searched here, is 23. How the searching will be done in case of binary search, let us understand here. So first of all, we need to get the middle element. The formula to get the middle element is low plus high divided by 2. Low is equal to 0 and high is equal to 9. So 0 plus 9 divided by 2. 9 by 2, we get quotient as 4. So the position of or the index of middle element is 4 here, and the middle element will be 16. So let us compare key with 16. So after finding this middle element, okay, one thing we have to observe, this array is divided into two parts. So this is the first part, so that is from low to, so this is mid minus 1. So the index of the first part is low to mid minus 1, and the second part will be, so this is mid here, mid plus 1, so this one up to high. So this is the second half of the array. If you look at the elements of the first half, that is from low to mid minus 1, that is up to here, these elements are 2, 5, 8, 12. These elements are less than 16. If you look at the elements of second half, so that is, this is mid plus 1, from here to high, the elements are 23, 38, 56, 72, 91. These elements are greater than middle element, that is 16. First of all, key should be compared with middle element. If it matches, if key matches with middle element, then you have to say that search is successful and mid plus 1 will be the position of that particular element. But in this particular example, the search key is 23. If you compare 23 with middle element, that is 16, whose index is 4, there is no match here. Search key doesn't match with the middle element. Then where we have to search, whether you have to search this key in the first half of the array or in the second half of the array. It depends on whether key is lesser than middle element or greater than middle element. If the search key is less than middle element, then it will be present, it may be present only in the first half where the elements are smaller than the middle element. So in that case, we need to discard the second half of the array and consider only first half for searching and apply the same technique, finding mid and comparing key with the mid element. Otherwise, we need to search for the element in the second half. In this particular example, compare 23 with middle element, that is 16. Here 23 is greater than 16. then the 23 may be present in the second half, not in the first half, because in the first half all the elements will be smaller than middle element. So let us discuss this particular part here. We need to consider only the second half of the array, where you find the elements greater than middle element, that is 16. So in this case, the lower index will be updated as mid plus 1, because the second half will be starting from mid plus 1. Here mid we got it as 4, the mid plus 1 is 5. So though low will be set to mid plus 1 and high will remain same. And if the search key is smaller than middle element, then low will remain same, and we'll have to make high one less than mid, that is high is equal to mid minus 1. But in this particular case, low will be mid plus 1 and high will remain same. So let us apply the formula, that is mid equal to low plus high divided by 2. Low is what? 5 and high is 9. So low plus high, 5 plus 9, it is 14, 14 by 2. So we got it as 7. So the index of middle element is 7, the element is 56. So let us compare key with 56. 23 doesn't match with 56. After finding this middle element, again this part of array is divided in two parts. So this is first part. So this is second part. If you look at the first half of the array, 23, 38, these elements are smaller than mid element. The second half elements are 72, 91. These are the elements larger than 56. So since the key doesn't match with the middle element, check whether key is smaller than middle element or greater than middle element. So in this case, key is 23, 23 is smaller than middle element. Then for searching, you have to consider only the first half of this array, and second half will be discarded. So this part no need to consider, only the first half we need to consider, because the search key is smaller than 56. So in this case, low will remain same and high will be mid minus 1. Mid we got here is 7. So mid minus 1 will be 6. So high is set to index 6 here. Let us calculate low plus high divided by 2, that is mid. Low is 5. It remains 5 only. And high is set to 6. 5 plus 6, how much it is? 11. 11 by 2, we get answer as 5. So the middle element is 23 and its index is 5. And let us compare key with middle element. Key is 23, it matches with middle element here. So then we say that search is successful and its index is 5, and we need to print its position. Position will be one more than its index. So that is 6. For the 23, the position is 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We print that the element 23 is found at position 6 or at index 5. Now let us see its graphical simulation. Assume that you are searching for the element 265 here. I am going to apply the binary search. So the algorithm is given here for binary search. Okay, if you look at the index, low is set to 0 and high is set to last index. What is the last index here? 31, that is n minus 1. In this case, array size is 32, n equal to 32, 32 minus 1, that is n minus 1 will be 31. Low is set to first index and high is set to last index. Next, it will calculate the mid. So mid, low plus high, we got it as 15. The middle element is 544 and the search key is 265. That doesn't match here. So in this case, the key is 265 is smaller than the middle element 544. Then the second half of the array will be discarded, because there is no possibility of the element present here. So it will be discarded, and low remains same and high will be mid minus 1. So mid was 15. Now it became that is high became mid minus 1, that is 14. And the same algorithm is repeated. It is going to compute mid here. The mid we got it as 7. The mid of this particular part is 7. and after finding this mid, again the array is divided into two parts like this. Now the key is compared with the middle element. So in this case, the middle element is 265, it is matching with the key. So it is going to say the element is found at index 7. Suppose that you are searching for 544. You are searching for 544. So let us apply the finite search technique. So low and high are set. The middle is calculated. The index is 15. Middle element is 544. And you are searching for 544. The element is found because the key matches with the middle element directly, and its index is 15. Suppose that you are searching for 644. Searching for 644. Let us see how it is going to operate here. So low and high index of set, mid is calculated. So middle element is 544. So the key 644 doesn't match with 544, but key is greater than 544. So this is first half where key is not present because key is greater than 544. It may be present in the second half because the second half elements are greater than middle element. So the first half elements no need to consider. Just we'll have to set low is equal to mid plus 1. Mid we got 15, mid plus 1 is 16. So low is set to 16, high will remain 31. Let us calculate mid here. The mid of this is 23. The element stored at the mid is 711, and it doesn't match with key, that is 644. Again, this part of array is divided into two parts. This is first part where the elements are smaller than 7 and 11. The second part elements are greater than 7 and 11. Compare key with, that is 644 with 7 and 11. 644 is lesser than 7 and 11. Then key may be present in the first part. The second part will be discarded here. Let us see. And low will remain same here, and high will be one lesser than middle. Let us see what happens. High will be one lesser than middle. Middle was 23. 23 minus 1, 22. That is what high. And the second part is discarded. So in this part again mid is calculated. The mid we got it as 574. Here also key doesn't match with the middle element, that is 574, and its index is 19. Again the array is divided into two parts. The first part elements are smaller than middle element. Second part elements are greater than middle element. Compare key with middle element. 644 and 574. 644 is greater than 574. So it will be present in the second part here. The first part will be discarded, and high will remain same here, that is 22, and low must be set to mid plus 1. Mid is 19. 19 plus 1 will get it as 20. So that is why the mid is set to 20 here. Sorry, low is set to 20. Let us calculate mid. So mid we got it as 21. Mid is 21, and the element is 672. It doesn't match with the search key. If you look at this particular part, again it is having two parts. In the first part there is only one element, 644, which is smaller than 672, and the second part is also having only one element. Here 701 is greater than 672. 644 is compared with the 672. 644 is smaller than 672. Then that element may be present in the first part of the array. So here low will remain same, and high will become mid minus 1. Mid is 21, and high will become 1 less than 21, that is 20. Let us check it. Now both the low and mid are pointing to same location. Let us calculate mid, that is 20 plus 20 divided by 2, it will be 20. So even we got mid is equal to 20, and the middle element is 644. It is matching with the search key here, and the search is successful, and the search key is found at index 20, but its position will be 21. So that is how binary search technique is going to work. Now let us run this program. Let us see the program. The program is very simple. So inside the main we need to declare an array. The array is num here with size 10, and n basically indicating how many elements of the array you want to take. Key is search key, I is the index value, index variable, low will point to lower index, high will point to higher index, mid is a variable used to calculate index of middle, success is a flag variable. Whenever success equal to 1, we say that search is successful, and whenever success equal to 0, we say that search is unsuccessful. Here initially success is initialized to 0. Printf enter number of elements, so that is you are reading the value of n here, and after that we have to enter the array elements in the ascending order, because the array should be sorted in ascending order for the binary search. So we read the array elements. Array elements we have to enter in the ascending order only. So we take a for loop starting from for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. We read the array elements using scanf here. That is, we are reading the elements for num of I, where I will be ranging from 0 to n minus 1. And after that, enter the element to be searched. Let us read it. It will be stored into key. And for the binary search, we will have to begin with index low equal to 0, that is pointing to lower index, and high is equal to n minus 1. And there is a while loop taken here, and the condition is low less than or equal to high. As long as low is less than or equal to high, what we do is, that we already learned, we find out mid. Mid is equal to low plus high divided by 2, lower index plus higher index divided by 2, and after that key is compared with the middle element. Then let us see whether key matches with middle element. Key is equal to middle element or not. If key matches with middle element, then we make the flag success equal to 1 and we break the while loop. No need to continue because key is found at middle element itself. And after that we come out of the while loop. So this is the end of while loop, and we check the value of success. If success equal to 1, we print that search successful, and that element is found at, we print a key here. So the key will be found at, and we print position here. There is a second placeholder where we take mid plus 1, that is the position of the key found. If this condition is not correct, if key doesn't match with middle element, it will be false. If it is false, then this part will be skipped and we go to else if. There is one more condition. Compare whether key is greater than middle element. If key is greater than middle element, then the first half of the array we need to discard. The second half, where actually the key may be present, in that case high will remain same and low will become mid plus 1. The second half will begin from mid plus 1 up to high, hence low we need to make it as mid plus 1 again, and we repeat here. We calculate mid as low plus high divided by 2 and compare key with middle element, and we repeat. If key doesn't match with middle element, we come here, key, check whether key is greater than middle element. Even this is false, then key must be smaller than middle element. If key is smaller than middle element, we come to this else part. In this case, the key will be present in the first half, where the lower index will remain same and higher index will be 1 less than middle element. Hence we make high is equal to mid minus 1, and this value is going to be repeated. Again we will find mid, compare key with mid. If there is a match, we make success equal to 1. If success equal to 1, we print search successful search, and its position will be printed. Else we say that unsuccessful search, and we say that key is not found. There is a placeholder where we substitute key and we print key is not found. Let us run the program. So Linux's program will comment here. Next, we'll execute the binary search program to check the output. Even you can trace this program line by line. That is for selecting debug and understand the flow of the program. Now we'll run this particular program. Enter the number of elements. So let us take it as 5 and enter the elements in ascending order. So let us take it as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Enter the key element to be searched. So this time I'll take it as 40. So the element 40 is present here. Let us see what output we get here. We got the successful search, and element 40 is found at position 4. The position for this element 40 is 4. Index is 3, but position is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got it as 4. Let us run it once again. Number of elements 5. Enter the elements in ascending order, that is in increasing order, 10, 20, 30, then 40, 50. Let us enter search key as 60. Okay, 60. Let us check the output here. It is basically unsuccessful search. So there is a small mistake we have done here. So we have to make it as unsuccessful search. So let me save the program and rerun. The message was wrong. So let us make that correction. So I'll enter it as 5. Enter the elements in ascending order, 10, 20, 30, 40, then 50. Enter the search element to be searched. I will take it as 60 this time. It is showing unsuccessful search and 60 is not found. So that is how we can execute the binary search program. Now let us move on to the next program. The next one is implementation of bubble sort. I already explained what is sorting. Sorting is basically arrangement of elements in some order, that is as in ascending order or descending order. In ascending order, the elements should be arranged in the increasing order from smallest to largest. In descending order, the elements should be arranged in descending order from largest to smallest. The bubble sort technique is the simplest sorting technique. So the input to bubble sort algorithm is unsorted array. You need to give input as an array where the elements are not sorted. They are not arranged in any particular order. Assume that we want to sort the elements in ascending order. Let us see how this binary search algorithm is going to be executed. So this is a simple algorithm used to sort given set of elements. So in the bubble sort technique, what we do is we have to compare the consecutive elements. So that is the neighboring elements we need to compare. For example, comparing of the elements will begin from the first element. The first element is compared with its next element, that is second element. If the first element is smaller than second element, it means that they are already in the ascending order. Then it is okay here. If the first element is greater than second element or the next element, we have to do the swapping of the elements. What I mean by swapping? Swapping is basically exchange. That is, first element will be exchanged with second element because the first element is greater than second element. And after that, we need to compare that element with third element. And if you find that the elements are already sorted in ascending order, no need to exchange. And if you find that the elements are not in the expected order or required order, we need to swap. So like this, we go on comparing consecutive elements, and if you find that elements are not in the sorted order, we need to swap them. Otherwise, no need to swap, just continue. So like this, we go on comparing the elements and we do sorting. If array has total n elements and we have to repeat this process n minus 1 times. So The bubble sort makes n minus 1 passes. In each pass, we'll have to compare the consecutive elements or neighboring elements. And if you find that those two elements are not in the required order, we need to swap. Otherwise, just continue as it is and repeat this for n minus 1 passes. After the completion of n minus 1 passes, all the elements will be sorted in ascending order. So that is what bubble sort technique here. Let us take one simple example here. Let us consider an array with elements 5, 1, 6, 2, 4, 3. If you look at these elements, the elements are unsorted. They are not sorted in ascending order. So bubble sort basically start with comparing first element with the second element. That is, the next element is second element. The first element in this particular example is 5. It is compared with the next element 1. Here 5 is basically greater than 1, but in the ascending order array, the first element should be smaller than second element. So these are not in the required order. We need to swap. So 5 and 6 we need to 5 and 1 we need to swap. We need to exchange. After exchange, we will be getting like this 1 and 5. And after that, compare 5 with 6. Compare 5 with the next element 6. They are already in the ascending order because 5 is smaller than 6. No exchange is required. And after that, compare 6 with the next element 6. Next element 2. Here exchange is required because 6 is greater than 2. So exchange. So we get it as 2 and 6. So 2 and 6 are exchange here. And after that, 6 is compared with the next element 4. Here 6 is greater than 4. So we need to swap these two. So 4 and 6 are swapped. And after that, compare 6 with the next element 3. So again swapping is required because 6 is greater than 3. So after swapping, we get it as 3 and 6. So this we say that the completion of the first iteration. This is called as first iteration of the bubble sort. At the end of the first iteration, if you look at the last element is 6, which is the largest among all these. At the end of the first iteration, the largest element has occupied the last position. It means the element 6 is put into the sorted list here. Here the why the name is given as bubble sort, because in every iteration what happens is the largest element will be selected and it will be put at the last position. It is something like the water bubble going towards upward direction. So the largest element will be picked from the array and it will be put at the last position. So that is something like bubbles are moving in the upward direction in the water. Hence the name is given as bubble sort. So this is basically first iteration. Like this, we'll have to make n minus 1 iterations. So in this particular example, n is equal to 6. What is n minus 1? It will be 5. So 5 iterations we'll have to make. So in that case, we have to do the comparison of consecutive elements and repeat this process for n minus 1 iterations or passes, and after that all the elements will be sorted in ascending order. Now let us see its simulation, how it is going to work here. So in this example, this is the array we have taken. Now let us see how it is going to execute now. So comparison will begin from the first element itself. The first element is compared with the next element. So we'll start from I is equal to 0 because the index value starts from 0. These two are already in the order. So 37 is smaller than 50. No exchange is required. Go to next one. Compare 50 and 68. So these two are in order. No need to exchange. Compare 68 and 70. Next one. These two are in order. No need to exchange. Compare 70 and 80. These two are in order. No need to exchange. Next we compare 80 with 92. Those are in order. No need to exchange. Compare 92 with 53. They are not in the required order because 92 is greater than 53. We need to exchange these two. We need to swap these two. Now swapping will be done here. Compare 92 with next element 11. They are not in the required order. 92 is greater than 11. So these two elements will be swapped. Compare 92 with 88. So again we need to swap here. 92 and 7 are compared. Swap these two. 92 and 64 we need to swap. 92 and 17 we need to swap because 92 is greater than 17. Swapping will be done here. Again, swapping is required. 92 is greater than 85. Swap these two. 92 is greater than 32. Swap these two. 92 is greater than 87. Swap these two. So this is the end of first pass. At the end of first pass, the largest element occupied last position. So this completes the first iteration of bubble sort. We'll begin with the second iteration. So in the second iteration, no need to consider the last element because already it has been put into sorted array. So except 92, we need to consider the remaining element, and the same technique we adopt here. 50 is smaller than 68, they are in the order. 68 and 70, they are already in the order. 70 and 80, they are in the order. 80 and 53 we need to swap because they were not in the order. 80 and 11, we need to compare, we need to swap these two because they are not in the order. 80 is greater than 11, these have been swapped. 80 and 88 we compare, no need to swap because they are already in the order. 80 is smaller than 88. Then compare 88 and 7, and we need to swap them because they were not in the order. 88 and 64, swapping is required. 88 is greater than 17, swap. 88 is greater than 9, swap. 88 is greater than 85, swap. 88 is greater than 32, swap. 88 is greater than 87, swap. So this is the end of second iteration. At the end of second iteration, the second largest element occupied the second last position. So now 88 and 92 have been put into their final position in the sorted list or array. So these two elements need not to consider, just skip these two. Let us repeat the comparison. 68, 70 order, these two have been swapped. 70 and 11, 70 is greater than 11, we need to swap them. 70 and 80, they are in the order, no swapping is required. Next, 80 and 7 you need to swap. 80 and 64 you have to swap because 80 is greater than 64. Next, repeat this. Swapping is going on. Here also swapping is required. No swapping is required here. Now 87 has been put into second, that is third last position. So that is in the final. So these two elements are sorted now. And the next iteration, again we do the comparison. Swapping is done here. 68 is greater than 11, swapping is required. 68 and 70, no swapping is required. Just observe how the comparison and swapping is going on. Now at the end of this iteration, the 85 has been placed here. Now these four elements are sorted. So like this, the remaining elements will be sorted. So this is the next pass or iteration. Now the 80 has been put into the sorted list. Now these elements are from 80. These elements are sorted. The next pass is moving like this. Okay. The next pass, again the same process will be repeated. Okay, the next one. Now all the iterations are completed. At the end of all passes, if you look at this, all the elements are sorted in ascending order. That is how the bubble sort technique is going to work. Now let us see its program. The bubble sort program inside main, let us declare an array here. Array size is 10 and n the number of elements that you want to take in array. Ing are index variables. Temp is a temporary variable which is required for swapping or exchange. Printf enter the number of elements in array. So you are reading it here. You are reading a value for n. How many elements you want to take in the array? That will be n here. Enter the array elements. So read the array elements here using scanner. We know that. Now print the array elements before sorting. Let us take a for loop for I equal to 0 up to n minus 1. Execute printf. So if you want to leave a space in between elements, you take percentage %40 and print array of I, where I will be from 0 to n minus 1. That is, we already know that. So this is our bubble sort technique here. As we learned that bubble sort makes n minus 1 passes, n minus 1 iterations. For that, we take a for loop. So this for loop, outer for loop is going to check the number of passes to be made here. So this outer for loop is going to be repeated n minus 1 times. So we'll start from I equal to 0. The condition is I is less than n minus 1 I plus plus. It is going to be repeated up to less than n minus 1. For example, if n equal to 5, what is n minus 1? It will be 4. It is going to be repeated up to 4 here, starting from 0. It is going to be repeated up to 3, starting from 0. If you count from 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, it will be total 4 passes it is going to make. If n equal to 5, n minus 1 will be 4. The bubble sort is going to make n minus 1 passes. In each pass, you have to compare the conjugate elements. For that, you take the one more for loop. Start from j equal to 0 and j less than. The condition is n minus I minus 1. So why the condition is n minus I minus 1? Because once in each pass, what we do is we find the largest element of the array and it is put into the last position. And for the second iteration, that already sorted element no need to consider. So that is why. So the array size will be decreasing for the next iterations. Hence, we will take n minus I minus 1 and j plus plus. And in the second for loop, what we do is we compare the neighboring elements or consecutive elements. That is, array of j is compared with array of j plus 1. If the first element, array of j, is greater than array of j plus 1, they are not in the order. Actually, the first element should be smaller than the next element. If they are not in the expected order, then we need to swap. How the swapping will be done? Let us see. We will take temp is equal to array of j. The first element will be stored into temporary variable, and array of j will make equal to array of j plus 1. Next one element will be stored into array of j, and we make the next element as temp here. So like this, the swapping of array of j and array of j plus 1 will be done here. And repeat this for all the elements. And at the end of n minus 1 passes, the elements will be sorted. And if you print them here after sorting, you will find that all the elements will be sorted in ascending order. Let us run the program and check the output here. So I will refresh this. So let us put a comment for this particular program. This is basically bubble sort program. Let us run the program. So the hash has been removed here. Let us put hash, save the changes, and let us run the program. Program is decompiled. Enter array size 5. Enter the array elements. So let us enter unsorted array here. 5 elements we need to enter here. And elements before sorting were 23, 10, 45, 15, 56. And array elements after sorting 10, 15, 23, 45, 56. If you look at this, all the elements are sorted in ascending order. To test a program line by line, we can go for debug. You try it yourself. Let us go to onlinejdb.com and type this program, and already explain you how to debug, and go with the line by line execution and try to understand the flow of the program and also the logic. Now let us move on to the next sorting technique, that is called as selection sort. So this is another sorting algorithm called as the selection sort. Even this is a simple sorting algorithm. In this algorithm, what you have to do is we have to find out the smallest element in the array, and you have to swap that smallest element with the element which is present at the first position. Find the smallest element of the array and swap that element with the first element. That is the end of first iteration. In the second iteration, what we do is we find the second smallest element and we swap that with the second element of the array, and that is the end of second iteration. In the third iteration, we find the third smallest element and we swap that element with the third element of the array, and we repeat this until all the elements are sorted. So the name is given as selection sort because in every iteration what we do is we select the smallest element, and that is put into the right place in the sorted array. So that is what the selection sort technique. Now let us see how the selection sort technique is going to work here. So the technique is very simple. Find the minimum element in the unsorted array and swap that element if it is required. That is element not at the correct location, then we need to swap it. So the array elements are 5, -1, 2, 0 and 3. So among these we will have to find out the smallest element. Here the green color indicates already sorted, blue indicates the current minimum. So if you look at this particular array, the smallest element is -1. So swap this element with the first element. The first element is 5. After swapping, we got it like this, -1. So -1 is already sorted, and 5 comes here, and from the remaining elements 5, 2, 0, 3, find the smallest element. The smallest element is 0, and swap this with the second element of the array. The second element is 5, and swap these two. So 0 comes here and 5 comes here. These have been exchanged. Now -1 and 0 are already sorted, and the remaining elements of the array are 2, 5, 3. Among these three elements, find out the smallest element. The smallest element is 2 here, and again no swapping is required because it is already at the right position. So leave it as it is, and consider the remaining elements of the array. It is having 5 and 3. Among these two, which is smallest element 3, and swap 3 with 5, and after this we will get 3 and 5, and all the elements will be sorted now. -1, 0, 2, 3, 5. These elements are sorted in ascending order. So this was selection sort technique. Let us look at the technique here, how it is going to operate. Here, first of all, find the smallest element of the array. So in this array, the smallest element is 7. So that is swap loop. The minimum is 7. The first value is 16. So these two are unsorted. We need to swap these two. Okay. So now 7 has been put into the sorted list. From the remaining elements, let us find out the next smallest. The next smallest is 10. That is swapped with the second element of the array. Just check it. This has been swapped. Next, find out the next smallest element from the remaining. The next smallest is 16. Swap that with 34. Now these three elements are sorted now. From the remaining elements, find the next smallest is 34. The next minimum is 34. Swap that with 35. They are not in the order. Okay, these elements are sorted now. The next smallest is 35. Swap with 53. And these elements are sorted. From the remaining element, the next smallest is 42, and 42 is less than 43. Swap these two, and elements up to 42 are sorted. And from the remaining elements, the smallest element is 43 and swapping is done. The next smallest is 48, 96 is greater than 48, swap these two. Find the next smallest, 49, 49 is greater than 94, swap these two. Sorry, less than 94, swap these two. Next, find out the next smallest, 53, it is already in the correct position. The next minimum is 61, 94 is greater than 61, swap these two. From the remaining element, the smallest element is 79, 94 is greater than 79, swap these two. From the remaining elements, the smallest element is 91, 96 greater than 91, swap these two. Now, if you look at this, all these elements are sorted, and from the remaining elements, the next smallest is 94, 96 is greater than 94, swap these two. Now, only two elements are left here, and the smallest among these two is 95. It is already in the correct position, and now all the elements are sorted in the ascending order. So that is what selection sort technique. It is very simple technique. Let us see the program. So in this program, take an array of size 100. An array type is integer. We can store integer value. N is the number of elements that you want to store in the array. C and D are the index variables. Position is another integer variable, and that is a temporary variable. It can be used for swapping purpose. Printf, enter the number of elements. Scanf, read the value for n here. How many elements you want to take in the array? Just read it. Enter the array elements. Okay, there is a placeholder %d. We have to substitute n here. If you take n equal to 5, it will become enter 5 integers for the array. To read the array elements, we take a for loop. Array index will start from 0. C is equal to 0, G less than n, C++, execute scanf and read the array elements. That is array of C. We have to read, that is you know already. Next, let us see the selection sort technique here. In the each iteration, what we do is we find the smallest element and we swap that with the first element, and we repeat this until all the elements are sorted in ascending order. So you take a for loop and you start from index 0, and condition is C less than n minus 1, C++. Next, we have to find out the smallest element here. For that, what we do is we adopt this particular logic. So ultimately, what is required is the index of the smallest element we need to get here. So that is why you take position equal to C. You start from C is equal to 0, and in the first iteration, from all the elements of the array, we will have to find out the position of the smallest element. So let us begin with position equal to C, that is the index of first element, and there is another for loop where we take D is equal to C plus 1. So the next index will be 1 more than C, that is C plus 1, because the first element is compared with the second element in the first iteration. So D is equal to C plus 1, and repeat up to last element. So D less than n minus 1, that is up to last index n minus 1 will have to repeat, and D plus. And what we do is we compare the elements here. That is array of position is C. So that is in the first iteration, first element is compared with second element, that is C plus 1. If array of position is greater than array of D, then we should take position as D, because array of D will be smaller. The smaller position will be assigned to this one. If position is not equal to C, position is not same as that of C, then we have to swap. That is T is equal to array of C, and array of C is equal to array of position, and array of position equal to T. Swap element from index C with position. So that we need to swap here, and repeat this until all the elements are sorted. So what we do is in each iteration we pick up a smallest element. So that is swapped with the element at position, and at the end of this particular for loop, all the elements are sorted in ascending order. Finally, the sorted list we need to print here. Take a for loop, c is equal to 0, c less than n, so execute printf and print the elements from array of c. Now let us execute the program and check the output. I'll refresh this. Let us comment the program. So this is selection sort program. I'll uncomment it. Save the program and run. If you run the program, number of elements I'll enter it as 5. Let us enter 5 integers. So this is unsorted. 5 elements have been entered now. So sorted in ascending order, 12, 13, 24, 34, 30, 45. All the elements are sorted in ascending order. So to understand the flow of the program and the logic, you can go with the step-by-step execution by selecting debug and putting a breakpoint. So that I will explain. Please do this step-by-step execution of the program and try to understand the flow and logic. So this is the end of searching and sorting technique. Thank you.